good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. We're pleased to welcome you to today's all-employee webcast. And we have Claudio Fachin here with me, CEO of Hitachi ABB Power Grids, as well as Akim Brown, Head of HR, Hitachi ABB Power Grids. And with that, I would like to hand over to Claudio. Claudio, please.
Thank you, Denise. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone. Thanks a lot for joining. Bit of a short notice, but I think it was important. We discussed it with the team to connect again with all employees to share some thoughts on primarily on how we are dealing with this situation, with this crisis, that it's extending a bit beyond what most of us would have expected. So, as usual, it's a 45 minutes. Usually we do an hour. The reason why is because we will spend more time with all of you in some 10 days at the end of the month, beginning of December, where we will focus the whole week on the safety week, and we will share a lot around also how we're dealing and what we plan to do to go forward on managing this crisis and continue to work on our response. So after me, I have asked a couple of team members to share some views. So one on the business side, so Bruno will share some thoughts, and then Johan together with Flavio to give us the country region perspective. And then as usual, hopefully 50-50, and then we leave time for Q&A. And I'm glad to see there is quite some already in Slido. So thank you for that. Let me start with where we stand. So, of course, all of us have entered the crisis, learned a lot during this difficult period. But as a team, I think we did good in terms of kicking off a number of initiatives, making sure that all of us understood at the very beginning how to reset our priorities. So at the very early stage, as you remember, we define our priorities in protecting people, preserving business continuity, and prepare for the new norm. Now, what you see in this slide is, unfortunately, the reality. We've been monitoring with very strict cadence on global level, local level, the progress on the active cases that we have recorded, how many people have been hospitalized, and of course, how many people are out of this now phase. And unfortunately, a week ago or so, we hit the mark of 1,000 total active cases that we have recorded within our own organization, within our teams. Of course, this includes, as you all know, same for safety. We also monitor under this process our subcontractors, or everyone that contributes to deliver what we have committed to our customers, whether they're employees or not. The other big number that you see here is about 300 of active cases. So that means that there are more than 300 colleagues of ours around the globe that are currently either in isolation, and few of them, this is the delta between the 109 and the 98, few of them, unfortunately, and it's one too many as usual, about 10, 12 of them hospitalized as we speak. We also had unfortunate outcomes in a few cases, mainly in the wave 1. We had a couple of fatalities that none of the cases generated within the workplace, within our facilities, nor customer sites or facilities. Most of the cases driven, actually all the fatalities driven by external factors interacting outside our professional duties, interacting at home, interacting with the outside stakeholders. The journey was an unprecedented one for all of us, for all of you, and for everyone, including our customers and our partners and the community. But I think what you all did, and a big thank you to all, you stepped in once we have given the guidance from a global perspective on the 3 priorities. Once we have kicked off a daily drumbeat at the beginning in terms of crisis management, globally, regionally, locally, to make sure that everyone would understand what needs to be adjusted and be addressed in order to, again, number 1, protecting people. And you all took that with a great sense of ownership, not only protecting people, meaning our employees, but the broader, in broader sense, our customers, our partners, and the broader community. And since then, we've been acting, taking a lot of actions. We've been learning from others, learning from our own mistakes, learning from our own small success stories that we had across the organization. Because there was a lot of commitment out there to help us collaborate and deal with this crisis. We established guidelines for preventive measures to deal with the situation, both from a health standpoint, as well as from a physical, as well as from a mental perspective, because obviously this is putting strain in addition to everything else. There is a great sense of ownership also in who has participated and contributed with the Solidarity Initiative. And I know that there are probably questions coming up in the Q&A on what are we doing with those funds. There is some good, limited still, but good examples on how people that have been directly affected or within family that have been supported by all of you that have contributed to that. And for sure, we have to be prepared to see more of this coming through as we're not out of this situation in most of the countries. Also worth mentioning that through the learning, September, we said we want to give a strong signal also following on July 1st, which, as you know, was mainly a virtual event on the day 1. We wanted to have a physical event. Ludvika, September, was not an easy one, but there again, the team has done a fantastic job in managing an event, obviously within all the needed restrictions. So we limited participation. We had all the protective measures in place. It was a fantastic event, seen also from the outside, with customers, with partners, with government, and everyone was praising on the discipline, on the rigor, as how the team, particularly in Sweden, and the global team organized this event, taking into account all the challenges. So really well done. Of course, we need to get used to the fact that it's going to take some time before we will go back into sort of a normal physical interaction. And I think it's important to say that probably that normal interaction will not be normal anymore. That's why we talk about new norms. Next week or 2 weeks from now, we have decided, first of all, to maintain one of the good initiatives that we had as part of ABB. Every year, you all participated in the Safety Week, and we said we want to still do it. It's very important for us. We've been also very actively participating in the past, and we want to keep that good momentum. But this is a special year, so what we will do is focus certainly on safety, which remains our #1 priority, but then moving from there, going into the aspects of the health. How do we manage the challenging situations from all aspects? Again, protecting people, #1, preserving business continuity, and we will share more at that point in time on how we also are preparing for the new norm. And I count on you all to not only participate, not only be there to learn, but also to contribute. You all have had your own experiences during this pandemic. You all had also experiences in terms of what have we done during this period of time under very special circumstances to preserve also our focus and emphasis on safety. And we all know that we had an unfortunate, really unfortunate event with a fatality at the beginning of the year. But since then, all the trends and all the attention that I've seen from the team into safety is delivering actually quite remarkable progress in all aspects. So once again, safety, but then health. And for sure, we will talk about the future, and we'll talk also about how we make that future also sustainable. Just to close, really the ask from my side, from our team to you all, you've been playing a phenomenal role going through this, showing tremendous resilience, and also leading by example. So what I would like to take away here, this is just a session for us to raise again the awareness. We've been putting a lot of efforts to make sure that everyone has all the support needed to go through this. Unfortunately, the period is not yet behind us. We have to go through, for the Northern Hemisphere, we need to go through a new winter in these special conditions. For the Southern Hemisphere, it's a new summer under these special conditions. So keep leading by example. Keep leading by example within your professional circle, within customer activities, but also lead by example back at home. Lead by example out there with the community. Don't hesitate to drive that, as we've been asking you all to have in your DNA the safety behavior. Make sure that we continue to do that 24/7 within our own workplace and at home, in order to make sure that we also help not only the company, not only ourselves, but we help the broader community to go through this challenge. With that, over to Bruno for some concrete examples on how one business, among others, is dealing with the situation. Bruno, over to you.
Thank you, Claudio. Good morning and good afternoon to everybody. And thank you very, very much for joining this important session. I would like just to show to you a couple of examples, and I can go for many more, to show how we are leading through the pandemic and how the local organizations and the global organization are driving health and safety as a priority number 1 and 2 and 3. Taking care about our people, taking care about our customers and suppliers and partners is and remain the top priority from all of us. And I'm very, very happy to start with a good example from Germany. We celebrated a few days ago with Brilon 400 perfect days without to stop the manufacturing even during the pandemic. 400 perfect days means leadership, means discipline, means driving every single day in everything that we do, all the stop, take 5 principles that are driving health and safety in all factories. So we congratulated to the Brilon team, but we have many more examples that we are going to celebrate within the business unit in the next days and weeks. The second example that I would like to show you is related to Brazil. Our Brazilian team has been awarded from Hitachi Group as a second prize in the Inspiration of the Year Global Award. And it is related to the major commitment that the organization had together with other companies that you can see here, like Flextronic, Bosch, Mercedes, Toyota, and General Motors, to do a very, very practical example on how to support the community through the pandemic and how to support the health system during the pandemic. And specifically, the Brazilian team really did drive strongly on supplying ventilators, 4,500 ventilators, but at the same time, the team, like many other companies in the region, and you can see that in the next slide, did work and supply food, goods that help a community, that help families that are going through distress, and have families that are financially affected by COVID. I had great example like this coming from US. Yesterday, I got a very, very good story from Crystal Spring, very good story from India. It is amazing how our organization globally really put together all the efforts to support the communities and to support the health system that are under heavy distress. So big thanks to the Transformer team, and keep going and driving on that. With that, to Johan and Flavio.
Thank you very much, Bruno. Thank you, Denise, Bruno, Kim, and Claudio. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you. I will give a short reflection of this pandemic before handing over to Flavio Villa, the country managing director of Italy, who handled the COVID-19 situation in a very good way together with the total team in Italy. Italy was the first country that was hit by COVID-19. Flavio and team took a lot of learnings from Jing Quan and the great team in China. And then the rest of us throughout the world copied with pride a lot of the best practices that were developed in Italy. And then over time, we have developed a lot of best practices together. So a big thank you to all the local crisis team all over the planet in Hitachi ABB Power Grids. But we are now facing the second wave, as Claudio talked about, with more confirmed cases than during the spring. The measures that we implemented during the spring is in place, and I want to give a big thank you also to all of you for complying with the local rules and regulations in every country, but also that we follow the rules and guidelines we have within Hitachi ABB Power Grids. The measures taken are important, but as both Claudio and Bruno have talked about, the behavior in this challenging time is the key to reduce the spread of the virus. Thank you for living this daily when working, but it's also important that we pay attention to the leisure time, also for ourselves, but also the dear ones. The risk is even higher in the leisure time. We have only a few confirmed cases at the workplace. The majority of the cases come at leisure time, outside work. So let's keep up that and don't look the other way and support each other there. We have all adapted to the new way of working, and we know that this is very challenging for many of you and many relatives of you. A special thanks to all of you working in our factories and on our sites, going to work every day and securing the deliveries to our customers. And also a big thank you to all of you working from home, working remotely. We are all building up this company, and you're all important for business. Our business is in good shape, and the total market, if I take an example of Europe, is growing despite the pandemic, and it's also continuing to be forecasted to grow 2021. We see continued investments in our social critical business. In Europe and globally, we have also increased our customer contacts virtually. Also, we have been able to do a lot of factory acceptance tests virtually, which is really good. It is now more important than ever before that we continue to collaborate and that we respect each other of us. And we also need to stay positive. Please continue to keep the discipline and to live our priorities set by Claudio and us as a total team. Let's protect people, let's preserve the business continuity, and let's prepare for the new norm and also live the new norm. Thanks all for your contribution. We will come out stronger as a team, and we will continue to support each other. To illustrate the great work, I want to hand over to my colleague Flavio, talking about what has been done in Italy, what is the actual situation and the future ahead. Over to you, Flavio.
Thank you, Johan. Well, as you may remember, crisis started in this part of the world last February, and it has been going on since then. Italy was suddenly struck and heavily struck, and at the beginning, we faced a situation which was completely new to us. We had, in very few days, to define and implement procedures and preventive measures for traveling, for our offices, but above all, for factories and construction sites where people are more exposed to risks. We had to interact with employees, trade unions, institutions, customers, keeping them informed and actually updated on every development of the situation. It was a great team effort. We played as one team, and I must thank all the colleagues involved, because that was really great with everybody's contribution. We learned a lot. We learned the importance of having crisis teams to manage and evolving regulations and laws, to the importance of being closely connected to key utilities and industry associations, as well as the importance of being able to communicate fast and through many different channels and collaborate from remote. It was a sort of sprint. Risk was managed, and actually we could ensure full business continuity. Today's situation is a bit different. We are in the middle of a second wave. It looks more like a marathon we have in front of us. Problem is spread everywhere. People are definitely more stressed by the time under these special circumstances. And also the economic situation for many around us is becoming more and more difficult. Well, on the positive side, we have to say we are much more prepared. We are able to manage the risks, we think, and we have solutions we need. Business-wise, it's important to notice that the new ways we found to work under the new circumstances proved to be effective, and our markets showed a resilience which was to a certain extent unexpected. Thanks for your attention, and I hand over to Denise now.
Thank you all. Thank you, Claudio. Thank you, Bruno, Johan, and Flavio. And with that, we move over to our Q&A session. You can go to slido.com and type in the code PG Employee 1119, and we will take the most frequently asked questions. So the first question is in the HR area, and we also have Akim here with us to answer some of them. Kim, the question is, Hitachi plans to make work from home a standard option. Are we planning a similar approach in the future for power grids?
Yes, absolutely. We are currently finishing the approach we want to take. We will, as Claudio mentioned, in the HSE and Sustainability Week, present this to all of you, how we want to go forward. It's work in progress, so that's why we will start with a few pilots as soon as we are ready to go. And from the learnings we make in the pilots, we will finish the approach we will do for all of PG. But we always should be aware that legal frameworks, cultural frameworks are very different in the different geographies we are operating in, and therefore the guidance from PG Corporate will be very broad, and every country will, within the framework, develop the specific approach.
And just to add that on our side, of course, we are also sharing views, Achim and his team, with our Hitachi colleagues to see the learnings, because obviously if you look at Japan as a country, they've been managing this crisis, at least when you look at the reported cases, in certainly a much better way than many other countries, and everyone in Japan contributed to that. So we'll drive the learnings also from that end.
Thank you, Akim and Claudia. And then the next question is equally in the HR area. Due to working from home, can we get a monthly flat rate reimbursed to cover certain expenses, such as connection, electricity, screen, printer, ink, for example?
Before you take that one specifically, there is a lot of questions I see around this topic. Which is great. We will not be able to answer all of those, but what we'll do, and this is also was the part of the reason why we had this, let's say, warm-up for the Safety Week, we will make sure that we take those and we will spend the time also to share with you where we stand for us preparing for the new norm. Achim.
Thank you, Claudio. Yes, so on this question specifically, we have developed an approach we want to go forward with. So we will give our employees the freedom to choose if they want to work from home or from the office. And if you choose to work from home, the plan is to deliver a so-called office kit for you to your home, which includes IT equipment so that you have a proper monitor, docking station, etc., and a proper chair, which will be centrally ordered and delivered to your home to make sure that also the ergonomic perspective is covered. And certainly what we really want to make sure is that everybody who applies for a home working situation has a setup at home which allows to work in a healthy way. So you need to qualify for this. And the second point I want to add here is the printing at home. We decided we don't want to support as we drive as a business and as an organization towards sustainability. We want to use this to work together to digitalize our way of working and to avoid printing out of documents. So paperless office is certainly also one part of the way forward to the new norm. We so far did not discuss in detail about reimbursing internet fees, etc. That is maybe something we need to look into country by country.
Thank you both. This is a really exciting journey here ahead. Then the next question is with respect to COVID vaccines. And here the question is, are there any plans to buy or distribute one of the vaccines similar to how we currently offer flu shots every year?
Before, again, Achim, this is an important point. It's great to see, and this, it's sharing some light at the end of the tunnel, of course, that there is now more than one vaccine that looks effective and efficient. But we'll have to go through several months before any of those will be available at scale and turn into an effective action and mitigation. So what I want to stress again is what we said is you have done a fantastic job in leading by example, making sure that we adopt the rules, that we take the constraints and we continue to do our best, not only for us, but for the broader community, to make sure that we do not create any additional burden to the economy, to the society by, as I said, protecting people and preserving business continuity. The vaccine is something that will certainly help all of us, and we will look at it in detail when plans will be more concrete. Our firm commitment is that we will take all actions necessary, as I think we have shown so far, to make sure that, again, we keep on protecting people. And if going forward, part of that is going to be providing vaccine, we will certainly work on that as well. Achim.
Well, you did not leave too much to add on this one, but certainly, yes, it is something we will look into. As you might know, at the moment, the distribution of the future vaccination programs is discussed on a government level. So at the moment, as a company, we don't have access to the vaccination. But as we did it with the mask, where we tried to find out ways how we can get masks to get it to our people, we will look into that. And actually, Claudio was mentioning in his presentation the funds we have generated through the donation program. So one discussion we had in the team about how to use these funds was indeed to use it for a potential vaccination in the future.
Thank you. Then the next one is on travel. It says, how much did we save on travel costs globally? And it might be a bit a tricky one to answer.
No, actually, no. It's a very good question, and of course, I will not call in Ismo here for that one. I don't think it's necessary to go into the details of the dollar. I think what is important is, number one, of course, there was a saving that went straight to the bottom line on us not traveling, us not spending face time with customers and partners, and therefore travel entertainment not being there. But at the same time, there's obviously a gross saving, because you all faced the challenges on, and by the way, you showed tremendous results out of that by learning fast how to deal, how to close the gaps, not being able to travel, meet customers face to face, even not able to execute some of the tasks that we all were used to execute and implement physically, and then do all of that from remote. So of course, there has been additional cost, whether it's hidden or not, that had to come in for us to, first of all, go through that learning, that had to come in to support us acting from remote. The other important point that, and obviously we all contribute to this, as part of the new norm, we will set also our own goals to, by learning from how we dealt in this situation, working from remote, virtually connect with customers and everyone else, that we will take and make sure that part of what we learn, part of what we deliver, and how we deliver that will be our new norm. Now, we do want to spend time face-to-face among ourselves, with our customers, with our partners. But everyone, and I think this is somewhat the positive of all this dramatic situation that we're facing, is that everyone went through the same learning. And you have all witnessed, as we did in the management team, customers are open to interact with us in a different way. Partners, stakeholders. So let's make sure that we take the learnings and then we invest those learnings to create a new norm that will help us in actually being more productive and deliver even better than what we have done pre-crisis.
Thank you. Then next question is, first and second COVID lockdown may cause a certain sense of isolation, work apathy, or drive low productivity. How can we avoid this company loneliness?
Well, that's a one. It's difficult. Obviously, it's in many cases might be even personal. It depends on the different situations. I think the team has done a lot, and not only globally, but also locally. I know the crisis teams locally, the country MDs, the hub teams in the businesses, the global functions with the local teams, making sure that we not only protect people from a, let's say, physical aspect with protective equipment and so on, but also invest money, invest time, invest resources, put the right management attention to make sure that everyone, despite the situation, gets support to go through this special, very special situation. At the beginning, just as an example, as part of the crisis team actions that we took was to establish, because we were not sure that all of these services would be available out there in every country, in every market that were present. Therefore, we implemented a global initiative to ensure that everyone would have access to psychological support, that you could pick up the phone and have someone totally independent, an outside provider that would, obviously with all the expertise that comes with it, that would help in tackling some of these new challenges that we all faced. Then when we saw that the local teams with the regions, with the businesses ramp up and manage to give this access through the local channels, whether it's government initiatives or private or own initiatives, we obviously took a step back and make sure that that access is still there. So more to come. If there is anything else that you feel it's still not being addressed despite all these efforts and these learnings, please bring it up. We have still the local crisis teams running. They are meeting on a regular basis. Many of them are still meeting on a daily basis just to make sure that we follow through all those initiatives.
Well, and maybe to add on this, I think we can observe day by day great initiatives from teams, from individuals, how to deal with this situation. Virtual coffees, virtual evening beers for the team. That is all fantastic to support everybody individually, but there's one very important dimension from my perspective, and that is a challenge for the PG leaders. This new situation adds a completely new dimension to our leaders, and from the HR side, we will react on this and implement this into our trainings for our leaders for the new norm, to be sure that our leaders are equipped to deal with this situation, and maybe also get into a position that via the online interaction with their people, they can detect problems early so that we don't run into unnecessary problems here.
And then we have another question stating that with COVID affecting a lot of companies and certain less order incomes, how we plan to go about this. So there is a voice there. Claudio, maybe you want to talk a little bit about that.
Now I lost you because I was reading another question here, which is also a very interesting one. So this is about the impact on?
It's
on the top line or on the
COVID affecting businesses,
yeah.
And certain areas might experience less orders. How do we go about it as an organization?
Well, I think the team has shown again a great determination, an amazing resilience in dealing with this new situation, and in many cases, I heard a lot of good stories where actually, as we are in this all together, that with the support of customers, we managed to collaborate sometimes even better, even stronger than what we used to do in the past. And that has translated into us being closer to our customers, closer to our partners, and it has translated into delivering good performance from an orders received standpoint. Of course, if you look at since the start of the crisis, we are down overall in orders, but we're down single digit. And if you look at the last period behind us, it's not unfortunately the last period of the pandemic, but the last period behind us, we managed to recover and even to show growth. And that is despite the market, of course, is not as solid as we expected, because there are delays, there are decisions that have not been made due to this situation. The team has done a very, very nice job in staying close to customers, and that has translated into a good performance from an orders received standpoint, given the overall situation. And I take it to the next one as well. It's not just the orders. If you look at throughout, we have communicated as part of the last quarter release from Hitachi. As you know, we communicate the joint venture results on a quarterly basis as well. And the set of numbers that we presented, given the situation, have been well received across all the aspects. The orders, particularly on the cash, which was one of the main concerns that we had. The team has managed to really, by staying close to customers, deliver good results. Now, unfortunately, we need more of that. We need more resilience. We need to go through a longer period of this special situation. But so far, again, a big thank you to all that have contributed to get to where we are today.
Thank you. Then we have another one saying, where can we see live where our colleagues get COVID-19 and which locations, not just countries, are affected most? We appreciate more open communication here.
That's the one I was reading, actually, which was, it's an interesting one. So we'll take that as an action. Of course, we have dashboards. Our crisis team have access to all that data. What we do with that, of course, first of all, there is a lot of requirements on privacy that we need to respect for sure. But what we do with that data is to precisely, with the right expertise, whether it's internal or external, analyze, assess, and then draw the conclusions and then take the actions. And this is not just done at global level. The team, together with Achim, myself, and a few others on this global team, we're just trying to understand from a global perspective, how can we support to cross learning, to cross-fertilize the initiatives, and then everything is taken, implemented at the local level, sometimes at regional level, because obviously not every corner of this organization have all the competence and the expertise. But we address all the units, we address all the markets, and we provide all the granularity that is in our hands to help the local teams driving that. But when it comes to more transparency, we'll definitely take that and share more then at the upcoming week.
Thank you, Claudio. Then we take one last question before we move to the concluding words. So we have a lot of questions here really around health and safety, and I think we can tackle that then next week. So let me take another one, which is a bit more around mental health, maybe, saying, due to our journey, there is currently a very high workload for everyone I know. What is the plan to reduce this and avoid burnout? Achim.
Yes, we are all aware of that. We face all the same situation, and it's a complicated year for us getting into standalone during a global pandemic. For me, there's two aspects. One aspect is to our leaders. We need to make sure that we distribute the workload in the right way, that we set the right priorities to our people. And the second, and for me even more important aspect, is that everybody who feels that it's getting too much comes to his manager and discusses with him about how to prioritize, how to distribute the work. I know that is not always easy during these exciting but challenging days. We need to help each other. We need to protect ourselves. And for me, the key message which I would like to send out to you is you need to raise a hand when you feel you need additional support.
Very good. Thank you. The last 2 minutes before we close, but I still want to use one. There is an interesting one here, which is headquarters driven, but I think it's a good message. Will top management be encouraged to also add like role models and work from home and not in Toro? For those that don't know what Toro is, that's our headquarters. So the point is not being a role model working from home. The point is being a role model of adhering to the rules and making sure that everyone around us adheres to the rules and help our colleagues, the broader community, our customers, our partners, to behave, to help this dramatic situation, and we can do this by leading by example. We have set clear rules at the very beginning by capping presence at the office. We have, and the team at Toro Building has done a fantastic job in preparing the offices so that everybody would be constantly reminded that you cannot be more than X in one meeting room, that you cannot be coming in without sanitizing, without keeping social distances. And lately, and maybe a bit late compared to many other countries, that I admit, lately also demanding use of masks in the office space. We are asking people to work from home if they feel they are safe, if they feel that by commuting they expose themselves. But if any one of us feels that in order to be more productive, more efficient, we want to find other places, we want to continue to engage with the right measures, and of course in a limited environment, engaging also with our colleagues and even our customers, we shall do this. And I give you one concrete example. This is with Johan. Johan takes a very careful assessment, but he goes and meets customers face to face. And customers start to also ask for this. So this is how we want to drive this. This is how we want to lead. And what I want, again, to leave as a key message, let's warm up, let's share more, and let's all contribute to the upcoming Safety Week. Let's make sure that we bring constructive ideas at that moment in time that we will share. We'll make sure that then we will take from there, hopefully further good actions that we have not thought yet about, because again, this will not be over in the next couple of weeks. We will still have to deal with this for a bit longer than we all plan. Therefore, thank you for your attention so far, and thank you for being with all of us in 10 days, spending some time creating yet again another positive momentum to go through this winter or summer, depending on which part of the world you're on. Thank you very much, and look forward to see you again soon. Thank you.